Hello YouTube. Um, my name is Anika, and I wanted to tell my story. Um, I don't have a theme as to what um, I'm going to call these videos that I'm going to be making. Um, I was thinking maybe something along the lines of journaling, maybe daily journals, or reflection. But I wanted to tell my story of this journey that I've been on since I became ill. Um, so I will start by explaining to you what it is that I was diagnosed with. About 2 years ago, almost 2 years, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called neuromyelitis optica, NMO for short. And as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm actually covering. It's been a very long, traumatic, and experience for me. This all started with a really terrible headache that I was having for weeks, and I didn't know where it was coming from. It was just, I was having terrible migraines, and I went to the doctor, to my doctor, and I tried to explain what was going on and when it started, and he couldn't figure out why I was having these headaches. He would prescribe me really strong medications to manage the pain, and I would keep going back to him because they weren't working. It was the worst headaches I've ever had in my life, and I wasn't somebody who suffered from headaches. I ended up, the headaches got worse, and I ended up starting to lose function of my legs, and I couldn't, I was really tired, and I wasn't able to put my shoes on. I was just experiencing these little symptoms, but I didn't know what they were, and I guess it was just leading up to the big attack that I got. I went to the emergency because it just got really bad. The paralysis was starting to set in, and I had no idea. I had no idea what was happening to me. When I was admitted into the hospital, what ended up happening was that one of the doctors who saw me, I guess he was a specialist or a neurologist, he recognized the symptoms of what I was having. He's seen it before, and so what he recommended, and what actually happened was that they started treating me for NMO, even though they didn't they weren't positive that's what I had. Because if they had, when they did blood work, it would have taken them about 3 weeks before they would get results, and in that case I probably would have gotten much worse, in a much worse situation than I was. When the blood work did come back, it confirmed that I did have NMO, and at that time my symptoms just had gotten worse. I became a paraplegic. I wasn't able to move anything below my neck down, and that was very hard to it was very hard to experience that. Um, you know, it's like until you're in a situation like that, you cannot begin to understand it if you're looking at it from another, if you're looking on the outside, or looking from at somebody else's situation and trying to understand it. But having it happen to me, it was just it was hard. Um, having losing control of your body, not being able to move your fingers or your toes, and your bladder shutting down, your bowel, your your everything just shut down, and the feeling, you you no longer could feel touch. Um, that was just it was a scary thing to have to go through. There's no cure for NMO. Basically, it's more of managing the symptoms and making sure that there is no so that there's no attacks or future attacks that could happen. So it's just managing the symptoms. Um, how they how they treated me was through a procedure. First of all, NMO basically it attacks the optic nerve and the spinal cord, and how they treated me was through a procedure called plasmapheresis. And basically what that is that it's the removal and the return of your blood, and basically they take out the antibodies, and so that and because the antibodies is what basically is attacking my body. So it's the process of where it's like cleansing the blood. So they took out the blood, they take out the antibodies, and then return the blood. So it's a matter of keeping my immune system at a level where it's not going to cause chaos. I am on a medication with rituximab. It's an immunosuppressant drug, and I have to take that for the rest of my life. I get that twice a year intravenously, and I hate it because it's an all day thing. It's you go there from 8 o'clock and you're back home at 4, and it's just a long process of doing that. This experience, there's just so many things that I could sit and talk about, but this is just the beginning of a journal that I want to, a reflection of my day when we're dealing with this disease, because as I sit here, I am still recovering. I am learning how to walk again. I still have some spasms in my back that prevents me from getting up and go or walking fastly. It's a long road, but I have faith that I will be able to heal my body, and I just have that. When you believe in something so badly, I just have that faith that my body will heal. It's an amazing, I never in my wildest dream ever thought that this would happen to me. I was somebody who was always, who was active. I worked, I went to school, I'm still in school, almost finished. This is my last year, and I just never thought I would be learning how to walk, learning how to run, learning how to dance. I was born in the Caribbean, and I love dancing, and at the moment I can't even bust a move. I can't bust a move. It's a long, long road ahead of me, but I'm up for the challenge. I don't wish this on anybody, to have ever experienced what I've experienced, because it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I have been through hard times in my life, but this takes the cake. This is the hardest thing. This disease have changed me in a way that I don't recognize myself anymore. When I look at myself in the mirror, I don't see that always smiling, happy, goofy person that I am. I see this person who's always waiting. I'm always waiting for my body to move on to the next phase of that healing. You know, I'm always waiting, and it is hard. It's really hard. It's really hard to go from an able-bodied person to somebody who is sitting here. My mind is sharp, like my mind is active, but the body is just, it's like two different people living in this body. There's the one in my head and the body, they don't match. It's like complete opposite, and that's something that I am trying to figure out from all this. I hope that whoever watches this video take something away from it, that, you know, even though you may go through things in your life that you may feel that, oh my goodness, this is like my worst day, and you know, this and that, there's always somebody else on the other side of the world, or on the other side of the fence, or down the street, who is experiencing something completely worse than you. And to be thankful for what you have in your life, that's something that I'm learning, to be thankful for what I have in my life and where I am in my progress, because there's a lot of other people who have this disease and they have not recovered where I am. My doctors didn't even think I would recover this much, and I know it's because I believe that there's something I'm meant to do, and I feel that's why I'm continuing to improve in my recovery. So speaking of recovery, and speaking of things I do to help my body get better, is I go for a walk, which is about that time, and it's a daily thing. I have to push every day, and so I thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time, and give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe as well, and I'll see you. Thank you.